Hello, welcome back to the Lux Budget. As you can probably tell, I'm in a different location today. I'm actually recording this from Madeira in Portugal. I'm on a 1-week trip to Lisbon and Madeira, and I've already had, as you can probably imagine, some pretty fantastic wines, and I wanted to share the top 3 that I've had so far. Starting off very, very strong. This actually is probably my number 1 pick, which I should probably do separately, but it's what it is. The Quinta Poco de Lobo Espumante Rosé Brut. I had this at a wine shop called Uva Livre in Lisbon, and it is from the Bairrada DOC in the west coast, but on the northern side of Portugal. This was so surprising of a choice for me because, again, it's a rosé, which I have not historically been that into, but it was such an interesting wine to me because it had a medium body. It was pretty dry, slightly acidic, with notes of strawberry, raspberry, and like grapefruit, primarily on the nose. But the really interesting part about this wine was there was this minerality, which was like almost saline. It had the flavor of being grown very close to the ocean. And I don't know how else to describe that other than saline. It's not salty, but you know that how minerality can kind of impact the way that a wine sits on your tongue and the way that you taste the different fruits in it. You can tell that the terroir of this wine is so incredibly impacted by its proximity to the ocean, and it is the perfect coastal, dry as hell, just delicious sparkling rosé. And I was absolutely shocked to learn too that this is only $17 per bottle. It's early in the year, so maybe I shouldn't say this, but this is contending for one of the top 3 spots. I've already found what I think is number 1. I'll do a roundup later this year. But it's definitely a contender for the top 10, but I think it might rank higher than that. Number 2 was also from this same winery, and it was called Herdade do Cebolau. It was a chilled red with medium body, medium tannins. It was very, very dry and slightly acidic. Flavor-wise, you had like notes of cherry and mild oakiness. And it was a little bit earthy, which is good for a red, but for a medium body, I typically think of it as a little bit fruitier than that. It comes from the Setúbal Peninsula, which is again on the west coast, but it's more like southern to central portion of Portugal. This one too was surprisingly inexpensive. It was, I want to say, like $17, $18 total, which for being in a wine bar in Lisbon is just really incredible pricing wise. I am trying right now to track down this wine along with the Quinta Poco de Lobo to see if I can get it in the States. I'm a little concerned I won't be able to, but I guess we'll wait and see and hope for the best. So the final wine that I had most recently actually was here on Madeira. It was a Boneca de Canudo, which is a white wine made with Caracol grapes grown in Porto Santo, which is a neighbor island of Madeira. It was dry and light to medium bodied with green apple and pineapple on the nose and like peach and apple on the palate. It had great minerality. That seems to be one of the common themes I'm seeing in the lighter wines that I enjoy, is a good balance of minerality. I think if they're too acidic without any type of interesting mouthfeel from the earth and the salt water around it, then it just doesn't appeal to me quite as much. And this one was actually the most expensive at around $26 US. Which is funny because of these 3, all of which I really enjoyed, this was my least favorite. So I love coming to areas like this and kind of proving the entire point of this channel that great wine does not have to be expensive. I think you just need to educate yourself on what it is that you like and what it is that you're looking for. Ask people what they recommend based off of what it is that you know you like. And then from there, just keep records of the things that appeal to you. And then I think as time goes on, you will just get a much better understanding of what it is that makes a good wine to you. Because we've all been there, right? You go and spend $50 to $75 on a bottle of wine, specifically at a restaurant, or maybe you're bringing it to somebody's place. And it's fine, but it's not something that you would ever pick up again for that much money. This is where the art and science of wine come together, because it is very much so a practice of determining your likes, and then a science of just mathematically filtering down the qualities that you enjoy in a wine. It takes time, but it really isn't difficult, especially when you are dedicated to learning about it. I hope that this was helpful. If you have been to Madeira or Lisbon or anywhere in Portugal and you've had wines either similar to this or completely on the other side of the spectrum, let me know. I'm really interested in hearing everybody else's experience. Being completely honest, I came here very unprepared for the wines that were available. I didn't do much research, which is good and bad. I kind of wish I had done a little bit more research, but I've been on my French wine game, so priorities. That being said, I think my next country I'm gonna start looking into a little bit more when I'm back in the US is going to be wines from Portugal. I've been really, really surprised and delighted by the wines here. And I'm looking forward to finding some options in the States. And when I have some, I will share them with you, of course. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great day. Cheers.